12. I actually do have to look at that. Kind of hard to tell that it's a lamp. To me, it kind of looks like a chicken, like an uncooked chicken with all the feathers stripped off. But that's just me. All right, let's try going through the water here.
Alexander decides to brave the boiling pond.
Nothing I love more than those
deep
depths.
sympathy for soup vegetables as he learns the true meaning of being in a stew.
Out of handles. Well, it's a good thing that I saved my game. There we go. All right. Back before I brave the scalding hot water. So yeah, as I was saying before, I think I need to get that iceberg lettuce, not this little puddle of water. I need an actual iceberg lettuce. And so for that, I'm going to have to go back to the
Alexander pulls
Isle of
out
Wonder.
his magic map.
And while I'm there, I may as well give our dear friend the dangling participle to the bookworm.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
All right.
Are you there, most venerable bookworm?
Do you have anything interesting yet? A fleeting moment, perhaps?
Let me see what I have. I found this little fellow lost on another island.
Coming home I am too.
There you are, you naughty boy. I told you not to leave the island.
Glad I am seeing you too.
A most solemn celebration.
So, you found my dangling participle. I suppose I'll have to give you something. Let's see now. Was it a rare book you wanted?
Yes, sir.
Well, then none of these will do. They've been sitting in the sun far too long and must be well cooked by now. This one is far more rare. A delicious little tidbit.
Thanks.
Well, we have a rare book, so that'll come in handy.
Alexander is carrying a rare book from the bookworm. The words in the binding are very faint. The something something riddle book.
Alright, well, I guess we can get that magic book from the bookkeeper now. Start casting some spells like Alexander does. Or like Alexander did in the previous King's Quest game, King's Quest 3. Alright, so iceberg lettuce.
Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce.
And we need to get it to that boiling pond fast, I'm assuming.
Ye gads! Is that cold?
Alright. So quickly now. Let's get out our magical schmap.
Alexander remembers what the pawn shop...
Okay, so I need to get to the ocean. Right. So by the ocean, I should be able to...
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Head on over to the Isle of the Beast. That's where
Alexander feels a
pond
strange
was.
pulling sensation.
Oh, there's a fawn. Cool. Alright. Onward. Scalding hot pond. Iceberg lettuce. Meet the pond.
Hoping to cool down the boiling pond, Alexander throws in a head of iceberg lettuce.
Nice.
The pond's water slowly stops boiling, cooled by the ice. It still looks hot, but bearable. Alexander decides to brave the steaming pond.
Ouch! Ow! Ooh, 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 ouch!
The pond is no longer boiling, but it's hardly bathwater.
Alright, so now let me pick up this, lamp/chicken/black firefighter.
Alexander takes the old hunter's lamp from the tree.
Take that with me. And go north. See what's up here.
As Alexander continues down the path, he gets the strange feeling that he's being watched.
Come on over here and see what I'm doing with these flowers. Never mind that stone fella on top of the gate. He won't hurt you any. He's just there to scare you.
Yep, that's not suspicious at all. I'm not going to actually go through there.
A brick lies in the grass. It must have come from the old brick wall.
But I will take this brick, thank you very much.
Alexander picks up the brick.
Alright, south. Not yet ready to cross over there.
You aren't gonna listen to me, are you?
Nope.
Well, we'll just see about that.
That's odd. The gardener just disappeared.
Okay. So, see, a rare book, I could go back to the Isle of the Crown, but I think I'm actually going to go back to the Isle of Wonder. Just to make sure I've
Alexander pulls out his magic
dotted
map.
all my I's and crossed all my T's there.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Yeah, on second thought, I have much more of a clear path forward when it comes to the Isle of the Crown, so I think I'm going to actually head over there. I can always come back to the Isle of Wonder if I want.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander opens the rare book and looks inside. The book contains riddles and has a page missing. Alexander glances at a few of the conundrums, but finds himself more curious about the one that is missing. What was the riddle, he wonders? More importantly, what was the answer?
Alright, so maybe,
Why would Alexander want to use that on the rare book?
guess not.
Why would Alex...
Yeah, that's not gonna work either. Okay. Maybe the bookstore owner can help us. Alright, let's see if we can, before we go into the bookstore, let's see if we can trade the Nightingale for anything else, since I think we've exhausted its purpose at this point.
Your candy dish is empty.
I am sorry, sir, but I have no more mints. Somebody has eaten them all.
Well, get some more then.
I fear that is impossible. Without the ferry, I can no longer get imports from the other islands, and we do not grow mint extract on the Isle of the Crown.
I'm surprised you're giving them away for free, then.
I hate not getting what I want.
It is hard, isn't it? Alright, well, I'd like to trade my mechanical Nightingale for something else, Mr. Pawn Shop owner.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander
Space
looks
Dan says,
closely
"Alexander,
at the
you
items on
greedy
the
prick."
counter to make his selection.
I'll take this flute here.
I'll take the flute.
The flute? Very good, Prince Alex. May its music always be sweet. Feel free to trade it back at any time.
Thank you.
Alright, unfortunately the old lamps for new guy is no longer here, so I'm not going to be able to trade my lamp in just yet.
Alexander doesn't remember that sign being on the wall before. He decides to take a closer look. It's a proclamation. It reads, "Citizens rejoice, announcing the royal wedding and coronation of Wazir Abdul al-Hazred and Princess Kasima. For reasons of security, the wedding will not be open to the public. Long live the new king and queen of the land of the Green Isles." Alexander feels his stomach turn at the thought of the dread event. If he doesn't do something soon, Kasima will be another man's wife.
I think the problem is probably more that the Wazir is a douche than that Kasima is marrying someone other than you, but whatever. Whatever, man, I'm not here to judge. Okay, let's go into Ollie's books.
Jalo, how fare you? And what news have you from the castle?
Prince Alex, how I fare is close to boiling. Have you seen the wedding proclamations around the village? I've heard rumors of the wedding, of course, but I didn't want to believe it, and I never thought it would be so soon.
Kasima. Married. Oh, it is an unpleasant thing to swallow, friend. If only I knew Kasima wished it. Tell me about the Wazir, Jalo.
The Wazir? Now there's a dangerous subject. His name is Abdul al-Hazred. He came to the kingdom 15 years ago. The king was fascinated by his knowledge and his fine-sounding ideas. It didn't take long for al-Hazred to convince the king to trust him with the minor problems of daily government. You see, Caliph had a wife and a new daughter he wanted to spend time with. Al-Hazred became Wazir.
And now?
Well, he's had his eye on Kasima ever since she was a young girl. And she is the only thing between him and the throne.
Do you think he means to harm her?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I think he'd rather keep her as wife. But whatever his plans for the princess, he will use her to his best advantage. That's his way.
Perhaps he has charmed her. Perhaps she cares for him now.
The Wazir is capable of anything. And Kasima must be vulnerable and lonely right now. Still, she has always instinctively distrusted him. Kasima has a good head on her shoulders. I'd be surprised if she's truly fallen for his words of love. I must return to the castle, Prince Alex, and you to your wanderings. May we both fare well.
So this whole situation with the Wazir sounds pretty poor. Alright. Mr. Shopkeeper, how would you like this rare book?
There's no reason to use that on the books.
I found this rare book, and I thought of your offer.
Very interesting. Oh, it is a wonderful riddle book. Riddles are much more marketable than spells these days. I guess people believe more in mirth than in magic. Here is the spell book you wanted, and a fair trade it is, I must say. Enjoy it.
I certainly hope so. We shall see how rusty my spellcasting truly is.
Maybe you'll get to turn someone into a cat again. Alright, so couple of things.
The lady's hair ribbon is made of the finest red velvet. A long strand of black hair is caught in the ribbon. Alexander examines the red ribbon and finds a strand of long black hair.
Alright, well, if I remember anything from the previous King's Quest game, or by the previous one I mean King's Quest 3, when it comes to spell casting, oftentimes you need a bunch of weird ingredients, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was maybe part of that, as might be the feather. Is this the rare book?
Alexander is carrying a book from the bargain table in the bookshop.
Oh, no, it's the other one.
Alexander is carrying a book from the bookshop. The covers...
Okay. Magic paint spell. Swamp ooze, river Styx water, black horse feather. Okay, I think I have the horse feather. I don't have the swamp ooze or the river Styx water, obviously, but I know where I can get the swamp ooze. And that's from the swamp in the swamp in the other place, the Isle of Wonder. So in the meantime, let's go over here and send the love poem to Cosima. I think it's this.
Alexander has a love poem.
Yep. Alright.
Alexander holds out the love poem, hoping that the bird will deliver it to the same place she took the ring, in the chance that the receiver might truly be Cosima. The nightingale swoops down, grabs the love poem, and takes it towards the castle.
Sing, sing, my sweet, you bring another present. Let me see. It is a poem, Sing Sing.
What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and through, and binds my heart with links so tight, I cannot live without the sight of you?
Oh, Alexander. I was hoping he'd return to you. Take this to him while he waits. Hurry, my fleet one.
Alright. Looks like we have a note.
The little bird makes a delivery. It's a note.
Dearest Alexander, I cannot believe you are here, my friend. Please, please be careful. Abdul isn't about to let anyone interfere with his plans. Watch out for Abdul's genie, Alexander, and do not do anything rash. I am not without resources, and I will prevail if I can only find some small means of defense. Do nothing to try to get to me. You must not be endangered again for my sake. Greatly in your family's debt, Cosima.
Alexander's hand trembles as he reads the note. For the first time in his long search, he has heard her voice again, if only in writing. No words of love, only friendly concern. Friend. Is the maiden merely shy, or does she regard him only as a brother?
Alexander... Cosima is being forced to marry against her will to a guy who seems to be a gigantic douchebag. I think that should be of greater concern to you than the fact that she may not be into you in that way. I mean, I know you did, like, come here to court her, but, I mean, come on, get your priorities straight, man. Save her first, then, you know, maybe ask her out on a few dates and see how things go. Get to know her a little bit. Alright, magic map, let's go.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Okay, so let's see if we can get some of these other ingredients that appear in this magical spell book. We have swamp ooze. Alright, we can turn the page. Good. Swamp ooze, river Styx water. Okay, so I should be able to get the swamp ooze from the swamp, although I'll need a container to hold it with. Salt water not from the sea. Okay, I'll need to get that. Vial of sacred water. Falling water. Skull full of hot oak embers. Sulfur. Strand of pure-hearted maiden's hair. Well, I have the pure-hearted maiden's hair.
This is the last page.
Okay, well, it's a short book. But anyways, yeah, so I have a few of these ingredients already. I think I can find a few more. So, at least the swamp water. So let's see if I can find a way to get to the swamp water. Alright, so let's see, can I use this lamp to pick up some swamp ooze?
Why would Alexander want to collect swamp matter in that old lamp?
Because it's the only thing that I have to hold things in. How about this bottle?
Why would Alexander want to throw that in the swamp?
I don't. I want to put ooze in it, but whatever. Alright, must not be that. Okay, so let's head over this way. Oh hey, there's a teacup here. I can probably use that, or I'm guessing it's a teacup. It looks like some kind of, yeah. So I can probably use that for the swamp ooze. Let me give that a shot.
Alexander takes the teacup.
Also, while I'm over here, why don't I give this bottle to these babies? Because, you know, I have a bottle. You might as well give it to a baby.
Alexander gives one of the baby's tears a bottle of milk. The other baby's tears seem to resent Alexander's gift for some reason.
Alright, well, the other babies are crying. Maybe I can collect the baby's tears in this lamp.
Alexander collects some of the baby's tears in the old hunter's lamp.
So that'll meet the requirement for salt water not from the sea. Alright. Time to get some swamp ooze.
What do you think you're doing?
Oh! Didn't see you there, buddy.
You startled me. I was just getting some swamp ooze.
Well, you certainly won't get it there! That's not swamp ooze! That's swamp sludge! He's right, you know. But he could be a little nicer about telling you. He's not a very pleasant stick in the mud. Nobody asked you! Be quiet! Oh, the trials of being a mere bump on a log.
Well, let's see what our friend Bump on the Log has to say.
Who are you?
I'm Bump on a Log, and that's my brother, Stick in the Mud. We've had this thing about each other ever since our childhood. Mom always liked me best. She did not! That is absolutely not true! He's a bit lazy, you see. He's got the only swamp ooze in the swamp right next to him. But do you think he'd move a finger to help you get some? Hardly. He'd try to brain you with it more than likely. His temper's about the only thing that ever gets a workout. And that on yours truly. Oh, like you've moved at all in the last century! Like you're Mr. Physical Activity! Just because I can't reach anything, he thinks he can throw gushy swamp matter at me and just say whatever he likes. If only I could turn the tables on that heckler, he might learn some respect. But as you can see, I'm a mere bump on a log and must be content with my lot. Oh, shut up! You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn even if you had something to throw! Just shut up! You see how he is?
Well, Bump on the Log, let's prove your salt. Let's give you something to throw. We have a rotten tomato here.
There's no reason to leave that lying about on a log. Why would Alexander want to just throw rotten tomato into the swamp?
I don't want to throw him in the swamp. I want to throw him at the...
Why would Alex...
Perhaps I can help you out by throwing a rotten tomato at Stick in the Mud for you.
Really? Oh,
Good guy, Alexander.
I appreciate the gesture, but the swamp is broader than it looks. Only a native like myself would be able to hit him from here.
Well, you take it.
I thought this might come in handy the next time your brother starts picking on you.
Aha! Finally, old Bump on the Log's not so defenseless, is he? Hey! Hey! What are you doing there? Watch the pulp, would you? Now, Bumpy, remember all I've given you! The only thing you've ever given me is mud. Take this! No! Not into the swamp!
I like
Okay,
how,
I give up. Jeez, sorry. Well, I guess it's not very pleasant having things thrown at you.
No, it isn't.
I'm sorry. You mean it? Really? Brother. Brother.
Stick in the Mud and Bump on a Log, exhausted from the battle, immediately doze off into naps. Rotten Tomato, being equally lazy, decides to join them.
Well, I guess Rotten Tomato has found some good friends. And I have found some swamp ooze.
Alexander fills the teacup with the swamp ooze.
Alright. One more order of business here. Let me just see if maybe I can charm these snapdragons with some sick tunes on my flute here.
Would you lovely flowers be interested in this?
Guess not.
May I have this dance?
Oh, my!
Nice. Wallflowers. And Alexander asks them to dance. Ah, how charming.
Alexander stops playing the flute, but the wallflowers and snapdragons continue to dance, caught up in the music and oblivious to everything around them.
Alright. Well, maybe they'll let me take this hole in the wall here.
While the wallflowers dance, Alexander snatches the hole in the wall.
Alright. Panda Space Stan says, "Good night. I'll catch the rest of your sweet stream on your YouTube channel." Thanks, Panda Space Stan. I'm actually going to probably be wrapping things up here fairly soon, but I want to take care of a couple things before I do. So I think I've exhausted my use of this flute, at least for now, so I might as well take it back to the pawn shop.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Right.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
So perhaps I can trade in this flute for something else?
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander looks closely at the items on the counter to make his selection.
Alright, I will take this tinderbox here.
I believe I'll take the tinderbox.
Very good, Prince Alex. Enjoy your tinderbox and bring it back anytime.
Thank you.
Okay. So. I head now to the, to the one place I haven't really looked around at very much at all, which is the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. I did go there and pick up a couple objects, but I, pretty much just ignored the Cliffs of Logic, but I will head over there now. I also should probably save my game, because it's been a little while since I've done that, and I'd hate to have a system crash or something to ruin all of this for me. Okay. Actually, I'll go ahead and save after I get to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. So let's take out our map.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
And we will go to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
All right. So one thing that I do know that I'm going to need is the manual for King's Quest, as the Cliffs of Logic are actually the copy protection for the game, which was pretty insidious of them. They put it in the middle of the game put the copy protection in the middle of the game rather than putting it at the beginning, which means that you can actually play quite a bit of this game without the necessary copy protection, but you will need it to finish. So let me just pull that out. So Crown, Isle of Wonder, Isle of the Sacred Mountain. Alright, let's see if we can... Okay, they do have a section here on the Logic Cliffs, so... Actually, why don't I add this to the stream, just so that you know what I'm looking at here. So I want to go to the window... And window, I want to add this KQ manual. Alright, so this is the King's Quest manual, and what you're looking at is an alphabet, which we're going to be able to use with the Cliffs of Logic. I know it's not big enough for you to read, but just thought you might be interested in seeing what I'm looking at here. So anyways, there's a section here on the Cliffs of Logic. Logic Cliffs. One of the most intriguing artifacts left by the Ancient Ones are the Logic Cliffs. The cliffs are so named from a series of riddles written on the face of the cliffs, leading from the beach of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain to the Winged One's city. Chiseled painstakingly into solid rock, the viewer must question what purpose the words serve. From the ancient scroll that references the cliffs, it can be determined that the riddles on the cliff were part of an elaborate mechanism designed to protect those who dwelt at the top of the cliffs from undesirables that might arrive from the sea below, and to protect the creators of this game from pirates who might want to make copies of it. The mechanisms may have served as some sort of calling device designed to alert those at the top of the cliff that a brother required admittance, or perhaps led to secret chambers within the rock itself. Whatever the cliff's purpose was, it was obviously built to admit only those indoctrinated into the secrets of the Ancient One's culture. For that reason, it is, alas, as yet unsolvable by those who live today. Following translations from the Cliffs of Logic scroll may help the reader understand the mystique that surrounds the artifact. The first challenge: only those pure of heart will be able to rise the Cliffs of Logic. Alright, so that's the first challenge. So I'm guessing that's this here. So let's go ahead and...
There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
Alright, so we have a pretty obvious clue in the manual for rise, so let's do that.
Huge blocks of stone erupt from the granite cliffs. Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if indeed it is a welcome.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to save my game. Because if I put in the wrong thing, I can fall to my death. As this game, like the other King's Quest games, is pretty brutal with death scenarios. Okay. So let's head on up here. Right, here's the second challenge.
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
A master of language will... Okay, so... I'm going to guess the answer is love, just because that was the word that we saw earlier and that we were supposed to remember. So yeah, I need to use these symbols to represent love. So L is that squiggly thing. Let me find that on here. Copy protection. Alright, I think this is it here. So that's the first letter. And then we want O. Right here, which is the face thing. And that sticks out pretty well right here. And V as that. So let's... Okay, right here. No, that's not. Wait, am I looking at the right thing? This is 3 dots in the middle, and the thing that I'm looking at looks like similar to this, but maybe... although if it's the only thing that looks like that. Yeah, I think it's the only thing that looks like this. So it probably is this. It's just not a great rendering. And then E is this foot-looking thing. And that is this. So fingers crossed.
The cliffs cannot be scaled by hand. Nothing happens.
Okay, so that wasn't the right thing. Alright. So... let's look again at this, Ancient Ones. This is gonna, like, Ancient Ones, known as seen. Ancient Ones had an advanced, mysterious culture. They're written ancient tablets, commonly possess knowledge, mechanical acuity, first passing. There's some fears, mysterious labyrinthine catacombs. Ancient Ones are fiercely guarded, the winged ones, believers in the power of language. They were fond of saying a master of languages will soar. Okay. So, in fact, the word we are looking for is not love, but soar. So, I did get that wrong. Apologies for wasting your time, as I put in the wrong word, but we'll get this. Okay. So, the S looks kind of like a falling...
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Looks kind of like a falling man. So, let's press that one. It's this thing here. And then... O, which I should remove from last time, but I have a terrible memory, is the face thing. And then A is the box thing with the other thing in the middle. I think it's this. Yeah. And then R is like the bird triangle thing, which is this.
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Nice. Okay. So let me save my game. And head further up this mountain. Okay.
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Alright, I'm going to refer to my manual again on this one. Third challenge, the stones of stealth are associated with this riddle. 4 men standing in a row, third from the left, and down you go. The rest in order move you on, the youngest, the oldest, and the second son. Okay. Third from the left, and down you go. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's the second one. The rest in order move you on. Okay. So, third from the left, youngest, oldest, second. Okay, so the one we want to avoid, I think, is this one. That's third from the left. And then we want youngest, oldest, second. So let's try that.
Nothing happens.
Okay, so that was wrong.
Alexander examines the strange etchings on the face of the cliff.
So maybe youngest is this, and then oldest, and then second? There we go.
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Alright, so let's head up here. Alexander has decent balance. This would freak me out. Okay. Now let's take a look at here.
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Okay, we have this weird alphabet again. And it's the fourth Sacred 4. Let's check out what it says. In the Ancient Ones... Kingdoms, Ancient Ones... The Sacred Mountains... Colonies, the Sailors remains... The Ancient Ones are fiercely guarded by the Winged Ones. Ancient Ones were believers in the power of language. Master of languages or soar. Theology. So they worship all things aerial. Fragments of their Ancient Ones gave meaning to every creature, every color, every element and material. In addition, they must... At the top of the scale are the Sacred 4. The emotion tranquility. Color azure. the creature caterpillar, and the element air. The color azure and the element air are obvious allusions to the sky. Similar tranquility is reminiscent of the heavens above. The caterpillar is the one surprise. In their reasoning, however, it makes perfect sense. After all, there are birds aplenty in the sky, but what glory is to fly when one is born with wings? It is not more glorious still to be born to crawl upon the ground and build one's own wings. Okay. So this is a little more tricky than the other one, I think. Sacred 4. Azure, caterpillar, and air. Tranquility, azure, caterpillar, air. Well, I doubt I needed to type all of that in. But perhaps, Okay, let's see. So what are they again? Sacred 4, Tranquility, Azure, Caterpillar, and Air. Let's look at our symbols again. Tranquility. So does one of these symbols mean tranquility? Harmony, cat, color, and earth. Sorrow, hope, tranquility. Okay, so D, this crown thing there. So let's try that out. I know this doesn't make for the most exciting stream, but gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so we got D, and then the next element is azure, so let's see what the symbol for that is. Color charcoal gray, pearl gray, sable, ochre, olive, white, red, orange, green, brown, beige, black, azure is the face. Okay. Alright. And then what's the next element? It's tranquility, azure, caterpillar. Alright, so I think the caterpillar is probably that squiggly thing, right? Somewhere over the faith, the caterpillar. Okay. So squiggly thing is caterpillar. And then the last one was what? Air. Paper, plants, air. Okay, that's the N with the dot. So let's find that N with the dot. This.
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Okay. So let's head up here. Alright. I should probably save the game. Unfortunately, the save mechanism is a bit slower in DOSBox than it is in ScumVM. Okay. So, I think this might be the last one.
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Okay. So this is what, number 4? Your challenge self. Okay, so I think this is the 5th challenge, which means only those highest order may ascend to the Cliffs of Logic, so the answer to that is A, S, C, E, N, D. There we go.
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Okay, up the cliffs we go. And I believe this is the last one, so actually let me go ahead and get rid of this little thing here. Uh-oh. We gotcha. Alright, I've ascended the Cliffs of Logic.
Alexander finds himself, finally, at the top of the cliffs. Exhausted, he steps over the lip of the plateau and stands.
Why do you make such an effort to climb the cliffs, young man? The winged ones who live on this island have the power of flight. You could have it too, if you'd only eat a berry from this magical flying nightshade bush.
You know, I think I'm gonna pass.
See? The sweet berries will make you float like a petal on the wind. Try some.
You know what? I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna save. I would like to see, however, what's in this hole here.
It would be rather rude to crawl into that cave with the old woman standing right in front of it.
Alright, well,
Come, stranger.
I'm not
Trust me.
going to trust the
Think of
old
what I'm
woman.
offering you.
So she's clearly trying to trick me, so I'm just gonna sit here until she leaves.
Young man, you offend me. I try to help you and you insist on being rude.
But who are you, matron?
Who cares? I mean, I am only a poor old woman who wishes you well, handsome stranger. Think of me as your grandmama, if you like.
Right.
All right, then. Stay tied to the ground like a load of lead. See if I care. You human.
How odd. The old woman just disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Perhaps those berries are even more powerful than she led Alexander to believe.
Yeah. Narrator's pretty daft there. Alright.
Alexander crawls through the small opening in the rock. Alexander finds himself in a dark cave.
Might want to light my tinderbox here.
It feels exactly like a tinderbox. Alexander takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it.
Alright, that should be helpful.
Alexander sees nothing to do. Alexander...
Out of the way.
Alexander crawls through the opening in the rock. The lighting in this part of the cave is better. Alexander extinguishes the candle's flame and places it back in his pack.
Okay. So, what's this over here?
A plant grows on the grassy ledge. Smells like peppermint. Alexander takes a few leaves from the plant. As he does so, a strong smell of peppermint is released. Ah!
Okay. So let's head back out.
Alexander crawls back into the first room of the cave. Alexander can't see it.
Okay. Gonna light the tinderbox. Right here.
Alexander takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it.
And back out.
Alexander crawls back.
Alright, so Alexander crawls out. And we're back here. Alright, let's go north and explore this cool island. Up in the clouds.
Look, an intruder! Hold! How did you get up here, human?
I climbed the cliffs.
That is not possible. No one has solved the cliffs of logic in several centuries. And if the cliffs were to be solved, it would certainly not be by a human.
I didn't mean to trespass. I only wanted to visit this beautiful island.
No visitors have been welcome on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain in years. Not since the Red and White Queens had spies in the guise of friendly visitors steal our island's sacred golden fleece. But we will not display such foolish trust again. You will have to answer to Lord Azure and Lady Ariel. They will determine what will be done with you. I can assure you, it will not be pleasant.
Alright, well. Let's hope this isn't as bad as it looks.
With what trickery did you master the cliffs of logic and reach the city of the Winged Ones?
Only the magic of clear thought, my lord. I meant no harm.
The cliffs of logic. It is the sacred oracle's prophecy, Azure.
Yes, Ariel.
It is lucky for you, human, that climbing the cliffs of logic is part of a prophecy that I cannot ignore. We have just been ordered by Wazir al-Hazred himself to dispose of any strangers that might land on our fair isle. But the prophecy would have a different fate befall you.
The prophecy predicts that whosoever climbs the cliffs of logic will defeat the Minotaur. The Minotaur has violated our sacred catacombs and eats our young in sacrifice. Our own daughter, Lady Celeste, was taken there only this morning as his most recently demanded offering.
A dilemma, then. Whom shall I obey in regards to your fate, the Oracle or the Crown? But since Al-Hazred did not dictate how I was to dispose of intruders, and since you cannot possibly survive the catacombs, your imprisonment there should serve both purposes quite admirably.
I will not resist you in this, my lord. I shall do my best to save your daughter.
First, I must tell you that the catacombs are a labyrinth of rooms, a place of exceeding danger.
A maze.
You will need many tools and clear wits to survive it.
I am ready.
Hopefully I have all those tools.
Very well. My guards will take you there now.
I guess I can restore an
You seem
earlier
courageous
save
enough,
if I don't.
But the catacombs will determine how brave you really are.
Alright. We've made it to the catacombs.
Why did you tell Lord Azure you were ready and willing to face the catacombs? No one is ever ready, and only a fool could be willing.
And you are far wiser, I suppose, to leave a maiden to die? To not fight this plague on your own people?
Bravery and suicide are
haughty
two
there.
different things, human. You will have a chance
Judgmental.
to renounce your choice soon enough, when you lay trembling under the Minotaur's hooves.
We shall see. Thanks for the escort.
We only escort you to your death. May the fates make it quick so that you do not have to scream long.
Alright.
The catacomb's entrance door is locked from the outside by the Winged One's guards. It seems that leaving the catacombs by that door is not an option.
Alright, well, I have been sentenced to the catacombs. And with that, I think I am going to end my stream for tonight. We'll certainly have
Taking off your adventurer's cap so soon?
We'll certainly have much more to do in the near future when we continue this quest, this King's Quest. Yeah. So King's Quest 6, definitely one of my favorite games. I'm enjoying it a lot. Just an excellent adventure game. Lots of really clever jokes and beautiful environments and some kind of neat puzzles. I mean, it does have some of the flaws of King's Quest V. Like there are some annoying dead ends which I haven't encountered yet, thankfully, and some of the puzzles are maybe a little bit illogical. But for the most part, it's pretty manageable and not quite as random as I feel like a lot of the things in the previous one were. So yeah, definitely enjoying it a lot and looking forward to playing more in the future. I'm probably not going to be streaming the second part of King's Quest 6 tomorrow, as it is Friday, and I usually take that evening off. However, I might actually stream stream King's Quest 6 on Saturday or Sunday this weekend, depending. My schedule just is going to allow for that this weekend. So yeah, I'll let you know more about that as that comes up. Of course, you can check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/user/nvader90, or you can also check me out on Twitter. All that information you can find down below here on my Twitch channel. So, or in the more info section. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you again for the Splunky Daily Challenge tomorrow, and for the second exciting chapter of King's Quest VI sometime later on this weekend. Have a good night. Bye.